The Discourses of Epictetus, Book 1, Chapter 4. Of Progress or Improvement. He who is making progress, having learned from philosophers that desire means the desire of good things, and aversion means aversion from bad things, having learned too that happiness and tranquillity are not attainable otherwise than by not failing to obtain what he desires, and not falling into that which he would avoid, such a man takes from himself desire altogether and defers it. But he employs his aversion only on things which are dependent on his will. For if he attempts to avoid anything independent of his will, he knows that sometimes he will fall in with something which he wishes to avoid, and he will be unhappy. Now, if virtue promises good fortune and tranquillity and happiness, certainly also the progress toward virtue is progress toward each of these things. But how then do we admit that virtue is such, and yet seek progress in other things and make a display of it? What is the product of virtue? Tranquillity. Who then makes improvement? Is it he who has read many books of Chrysippus? But does virtue consist in having understood Chrysippus? If this is so, progress is clearly nothing else than knowing a great deal of Chrysippus. But now we admit that virtue produces one thing, and we declare that approaching near to it is another thing, namely, progress or improvement. Such a person, says one, is already able to read Chrysippus by himself. Indeed, sir, you are making great progress. What kind of progress? Will you not show him the effect of virtue, that he may learn where to look for improvement? Seek it there, wretch, where your work lies. And where is your work? In desire and in aversion, that you may not be disappointed in your desire, and that you may not fall into that which you would avoid. In your pursuit and avoiding, that you commit no error. In assent and suspension of assent, that you be not deceived. The first things and the most necessary are those which I have named. But if with trembling and lamentation you seek not to fall into that which you avoid, tell me how you are improving. Do you then show me your improvement in these things? If I were talking to an athlete, I should say, "Show me your shoulders." And then he might say, "Here are my halteres." You and your halteres look to that. I should reply, "I wish to see the effect of the halteres." So, when you say, "Take the treatise on the active powers, and see how I have studied it," I reply, "Slave, I am not inquiring about this, but how you exercise pursuit and avoidance, desire and aversion, how your design and purpose prepare you, whether conformably to nature or not. If conformably, give me evidence of it, and I will say that you are making progress. But if not, be gone, and not only expound your books, but write such books yourself. Where then is progress? If any of you, withdrawing himself from externals, turns to his own will to exercise it and to improve it by labor, so as to make it conformable to nature, elevated, free, unrestrained, unimpeded, faithful, modest, and if he has learned that he who desires or avoids the things which are not in his power can neither be faithful nor free, but must change with them, and be tossed about as in a tempest, and must subject himself to others who control them, this is the man who makes true progress. When he rises in the morning, if he observes and keeps these rules, bathes as a man of fidelity, eats as a modest man, and in every matter works out his chief principles, as the runner does with running, or the trainer of the voice with practice, this man truly progresses and has not traveled in vain. But if he has strained his efforts to the practice of reading books only, and has traveled for this, I tell him to return home immediately, for this is nothing. The true work is to study how to rid life of lamentation and groaning, of woe to me, and wretched am I, and to learn what death, exile, prison, and poison truly are, so that one may say in chains, "If it is the will of the gods, let it be so," rather than lament like Priam, Oedipus, or tragic kings. What then does Chrysippus teach us? To know that these things are not false, from which happiness and tranquillity arise. "Take my books," he says, "and you will learn how true and conformable to nature are the things which make me free from perturbations." O great good fortune! O benefactor who points out the way! To Triptolemus, who gave us grain, men built temples and altars. But to him who discovered truth and showed us how to live well, who has built an altar? For wheat and wine we give thanks to the gods. Shall we not also thank them for reason and truth, which bring us happiness? In Discourses, Book 1, Chapter 4, Epictetus explains that true progress is not in mastering books or arguments, but in mastering oneself. Improvement means training desire and aversion, so they apply only to what is in our power, leading to freedom and tranquillity. Reading philosophy is worthless if it does not transform how we live.